Retro Ridoctopus is not filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Retro!
How's it going, everyone? You are listening to the Retro Ridoctopus Cephalid podcast, the only show where we talk about all things that make growing up pretty cool. So,
some might even say awesome.
Somebody needs to say awesome.
I wouldn't. He didn't want to.
I didn't want to. I'm a rebel, damn it.
I don't wanna!
You can't make me! So on this episode, I am joined on the crow's nest, yes.
Caw, motherfucker!
Caw. Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead.
Caca.
Cock-a-doodle. So on this episode, we are kind of traveling back in time to the earlier days of the Retro Ridoctopus podcast when we were on the YouTube formats on the Boss Rush Mode channel. And,
oh my goodness, I know what that is.
Oh, do you?
Oh my god.
Don't you know that guy?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Boss Rush Mode,
do.
that's your name.
It is.
Wow.
That's a coincidence,
are
though.
Are you the same Boss Rush Mode as the one I'm currently talking about?
I might be.
Are you the famous?
I'm well, definitely not. Definitely not famous.
Maybe infamous.
So tell us, Nintendo, why are we here on this random crow's nest with, pretty cool, a full house?
Yeah, like I think the first
all
time,
the crows.
This is the first time that the four of us are on a crow's nest.
We're all in
damn.
Somehow we all fit in the nest.
It's a generous nest.
We're pretty smooth. We're so smooth.
Extra POs.
It's more of an eagle crow's nest.
We might be in the crow's nest, but you're going to be ones getting fed the information. We're going to puke it right into your mouth.
You're like our little baby crows. Isn't that's how birds?
All right, so we're traveling back in time.
Traveling back in time.
Saying Nintendo.
Yes, travel back in time in the good old YouTube days on the Boss Rush Mode channel, as Retro Ridoctopus, and we did a little thing a few years ago called Of Paint and Pixels, and we've done like different themed episodes. One on shoot 'em ups, ninjas, horror, which we're going to be talking about again today, and you guys should really check it out. We'll post links on our Facebook page, and it's good stuff. So
the point was we wanted to have a series of videos where, because these were videos back in those days, hence the YouTube-ness, and we wanted to do a series where we were actually comparing the box art of like North American released versions of games versus what they got in Japan versus what maybe they got in Europe, and sometimes random like Germany would get their own, and sometimes random like Australia would get their own. It was just interesting and weird.
Yeah, just depending on the region.
Yeah,
really weird.
So we kind of liked comparing and contrasting the different artworks that they got and how it was interesting. We found that really, like, depending on what country you're talking about, there was like this consensus where all the video game companies decided that Japan liked anime, we liked big, beefy, naked muscle dudes, and like everything in Europe, everything in England especially, Chrome. It's all Chrome. Amazing. If it was Mega Man, Chrome. Like, it didn't matter who it was. It's just
Europe loves
Turrican.
Chrome.
Hence Turrican, which is a British character.
Right.
Right? Like, he's just Chrome.
Yeah. We also got another surprise going on in this episode, don't we?
That's right. Retro Ridoctopus is proud to announce that we are participating in the Epic Airways Podcast Network Scare-O-Thon.
Yep.
So we'll
Spooky,
let Parasite Steven handle the info on that.
So you guys, if you heard our episode on Tuesday, which is public service entertainment, you will have heard us, we played a little intro from Andy Deisman from the Epic Tales from the Sewer podcast and Epic Tales podcast, and lots of other things. And yeah, pretty cool. It's kind of like what we did with the Dorkening for Dorkvania earlier in the year. If you guys remember that, we did this big, it was like at the very, very beginning of the year, and we did this massive, fun, multi-show crossover, and you had to kind of listen to all the episodes and get a little piece of a sentence and then kind of compile it in sequence, and you could win fabulous prizes if you did so. This is the same sort of idea, so super fun. You are listening to this episode hopefully on the day that it airs, which is 10:30. The day it's All Hallows Eve, which is Eve squared, which is cool. And yeah, so hopefully this by this point you've already listened to the other episodes, but if you haven't, definitely check out the Epic Tales of Darkness podcast, the Amalga Cast, Epic Tales podcast, which is different than the Tales of Darkness. There's just a lot of epic tales going on.
There's a lot of tales and epicness.
Those not so super dudes. The Epic Tales from the Sewers with Andy Deisman and Justin Cooper, Amalga Files, and of course our buddies Throw It On Thursday, Patsy and Ashes, and us as well. And it all concludes tomorrow night, or tomorrow day, I guess, back on Amalga Cast, and you're going to get the final word. So lurking in this crow's nest somewhere, you're actually going to hear a special magic word, and we're going to be very obvious when we say what it is, but you just never know when that's going to be. It could be at any point. So we hope you enjoyed this look back into our of Paint and Pixels days, and also our chance to right the wrong of not having a Halloween episode, which
Because oops.
we accidentally did, because we actually love Halloween, but as Aiden said, oops. Full disclosure, I chose the last topic. That was my episode, and we've been recording so early, like weeks and weeks before the episodes air, and we just weren't thinking, and we lost track.
Oh yeah, by the way, this episode's gonna be the last one before Halloween. Oh.
Right, it's like, oh my god, we don't have a Halloween
shit.
show.
It probably should have been spooky, right? Yeah, probably.
So we had the public service entertainment episode already in the can, and then we're like, oh shit, what the fuck did we just do? So Boss Rush suggested this super fun theme to go back, and I know this has been something that he's been wanting to do for a while, and I love that series. I'm really proud of the Paint and Pixels episodes.
Right.
Yeah, that was a super fun series.
It was really
sure.
fun. I still haven't seen anyone quite do it. Not that our videos were like, I mean, you did a great job, but it's just basically slideshows and stuff, but it's like, it's fun. I still will go back and watch them, and I just think that like, it's really, really great. So
Right.
I hope people will check that out.
Yep.
Those are really fun.
And
Now-
also this episode will be on my YouTube channel, which is
Right.
Nintenjoe25.
All
So that
right.
way you guys will get the visual experience as well, not
Just
just
like in the
audio.
good
Because it
old
makes more sense that way.
It does. But now you can listen to us talk about art.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then you
because
can
now
watch
we have
it.
an audio podcast, so tough shit.
Right.
Nice.
Tough
Well,
nuts.
you also have the option to watch us about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very excited. So whenever you guys are ready, I'm good. If you guys are
Oh,
good,
yeah,
I'm
let's-
good.
let's jump
I'm
into it.
excited
Roaring ready.
to dig into these horror games for our whoops, we forgot Halloween.
Oops, no Halloween.
Oops, no spooks.
Of painting. Oh fuck! It's Halloween already.
See, COVID canceled our show.
Let's
That's
just blame
what
COVID,
happened.
right?
We'll go with that because we can't go
Yeah.
trick or treating. So
I'm okay with COVID taking the blame for my fuck up. That's fine.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah,
there it is.
there it is.
What's it gonna say? What's COVID gonna say? Honestly, like realistically, what's it
Right.
gonna say?
It's got
Right.
no
What's
comeback.
it going to do?
Nothing. I know
Could do
what.
Nothing.
Well, actually, I don't want to know what it's gonna do. All right, so
Yeah,
who's
don't
going
don't
first?
tempt it.
All right, so
Uh,
we'll let Boss Rush mode go first.
Oh, we're gonna let me go first. Oh,
Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry. Do you not want to go first? We can let. Well, okay,
Oh.
you know what? I changed my mind. I
It's
changed
fine.
my mind. You
Basically,
know what?
fucked up the
I'm
order.
gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go with 8-Bit Alchemy.
Whoa!
Fine. Do that
No
instead.
way!
Whoa, no way, man!
Yeah, dude.
I wasn't even expecting that.
Like not at all.
I'm like totally surprised right now.
I did not think you were going to go by the previously decided upon listing. Okay.
Oh man, man.
You don't have to know that.
Nintendo loves his curveballs, but this
I
wasn't one of them.
do.
This was a straight shot.
I have a
Um,
lot of brain farts.
It's
So
okay.
This
We're
is
gassy.
starting off our first half of the episode, which will be all Castlevania.
Yes, we're gonna be
Yes.
talking about all Castlevania
Yeah.
games.
So we each pick one Castlevania game, and then we're going to come back around with a non-Castlevania game. So
hell yeah.
Right.
I know
Yeah,
we'll
we'll each
but
we'll each have 2 games, but the first one from all of us is Castlevania.
And
Right.
it should be said too that we did a lot of Castlevania games in the YouTube episode way back in whenever it was 2017, but these are all different than the ones we picked in now.
Right. We're
So
not
if you go
repeating
listen to
any
them,
that we did a few years ago.
because there are so many.
There are a lot of Castlevania.
It's like it's one of the longest running series of games or something.
Something.
So
Something.
weird.
I'm telling
It's
you.
so
something.
weird.
Okay, what
It's
you
so
got?
weird.
8-bit.
So I would like to talk about Castlevania Circle of the Moon,
Yes.
which, for those of you who are uninitiated, was the first game that came out on the Game Boy Advance in the Castlevania series, which came out in 2001. And it actually, in my opinion, really reinvigorated the series. And, Symphony of the Night had been a huge success, but this game would go on to spawn, a number of other games on the portable systems and prove that the Game Boy was a really good system and a good platform for Castlevania.
Yes.
And you ended up with 3 games on the Game Boy Advance and then 3 more games on the Nintendo DS. So Konami went full tilt boogie with handheld Castlevania, thanks to Circle of the Moon, which is awesome. So this game stars no Belmonts. You have your main character who is Nathan.
What a weird
Graves.
first name.
What an odd name.
I am
His name
no Belmont.
No Belmont.
No Belmonts.
Morris.
No
This is-
Belmonts Morris. Yep. Nathan No Belmont Graves.
Yeah.
And so Nathan Graves is front and center, or rather front and off to the left, on this American cover. And it's an awesome drawing. It is a very, very well done painting, detailed shading, all that. It's not the typical art style that we had kind of seen with some of the artwork that came out with other Castlevania games, but it captures the vibe. It's got the classic Castlevania logo. It's got Nathan with the whip in the front. His hand looks so fucking big, which is just that perspective they got going on there.
Yeah.
That force perspective, which is awesome.
Foreshortening.
And
There's some foreshortening going
there's some
on.
foreshortening for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great cover. It honestly, it just the look of the castle in the back, everything about it is great. I always enjoyed it. And so I never really looked at the different covers for this game in other regions. So when we were doing this episode, we took a look at the Japanese box art. And the Japanese box art, essentially, your American one is a square, and the Japanese Game Boy Advance boxes were rectangular. So it has that wide, landscape orientation. So there's a lot more room for them to do stuff. And you basically have, on the right side of the Japanese cover, from the middle to the right, you have essentially the same box art as the American box. There's a bit of an extra detail. There's like a gargoyle there. They kind of changed the positioning of the castle and all that.
Yeah.
But for the most
the
part,
bats aren't quite the same.
right,
either.
and the bats aren't
Yeah.
quite the same. The bats aren't
Which
like
sucks because in the
moon.
American version, it's like the closest bat is like covered up by the Castlevania logo, so you can't really see him.
Right, he's right up there, and he looks awesome. But it's like, he he basically doesn't exist. And actually, funny enough, that same super close bat is mirrored on the bottom left of the Japanese one, and is also behind text, which
Yeah,
is
no
like,
kidding.
what the fuck happened here, guys? Somebody drew that bat really good, and you just keep blocking it. So that's kind of dumb. But yeah, so the left.
Who drew that
half-
bat? That was Mike from accounting. Well, fuck that guy.
That was no Belmont.
Fuck Mike from accounting.
Mike, get the fuck out of here.
He's such
Get
a
the fuck
dick.
out of here, Mike.
He is a dick. But the left side of this artwork is totally unique. It's completely original artwork that I'd never seen before. You have Dracula looking all fucking brooding, and he's got his big cape cloak thing with the bats coming out the side of it, and he's got his awesome touch of gray
His
for
bat
men
dandruff.
hair.
The bat
Oh,
dandruff
yeah.
is
He's
flaking
got
off his head.
Bat dandruff flaking off.
He's
his
got that
touch of
flaky
gray.
vampire scalp going on.
Oh, it's so good. He's got that awesome facial hair. Just looking fly for a white
Looking
guy.
scruffy with that beard.
Yes, I know.
That is
know
not a
it's
typical
hot.
anime beard at all.
It's not.
That's true.
It's not. I mean,
Yeah.
this style is such a interesting hybrid of like
It is.
anime-esque, but also more detailed.
yeah.
And then you have your other character there. I forgot his name. Steve, what's his name?
Hugh Baldwin.
Hugh Baldwin. That's
Baldwin.
right. And he's looking just fly as hell. I mean, look at that hair. He's got this
I mean,
big
his hair
old
is perfect.
swoosh, this big old coif going on. and he's
was
like in
just like
complete profile, total like profile picture
Yep.
of like you don't usually see characters from that angle, and it's almost easy to miss it. Like the top of his hair kind of blends in with Dracula.
It really does, yeah.
It's like you almost don't even notice it. But yeah, like such an incredibly cool additional aspect to this box art.
Yeah.
And real quick, there's also a little bit of a difference. The words "Circle of the Moon" are the same font, but in the Japanese box art, they're black with this like white and reddish aura, whereas on the American box art, they're red lettering with a black outline, and they're a little bit more flat. So I do enjoy the treatment on the Japanese version of that better. But I will definitely say that the classic Castlevania logo for the American is just the bomb. And this is actually the last game, to my knowledge, of the Castlevania series to have this original logo with the huge Gothic C that kind of like clamps on the lowercase a there.
Yeah.
And then after this game, they switched it to the more simplified logo that you've seen in more recent games.
Yeah, it's like more like a crescent moon sort of.
Crescent
speak.
moon.
Yeah, right.
Yep. So yeah, I mean,
Crescentvania.
buttery crescent. Oh, flaky buttery crust. So that is Circle of the Moon. So what are you guys thinking? How are you guys feeling about that?
Definitely amazing artwork on both covers.
Yeah.
I really like how on the American one, on the Game Boy Advance version, although it's obviously less of the picture, I do like how they framed it off, where it's got like this like kind of like artsy kind of like, I don't know what it's supposed to be made of, but it's definitely a stylized frame, and it actually cuts off the picture, so there's a little bit of black outside of it. I mean, Nathan's whip kind of breaks through a little bit, but
yeah, it does look really cool.
I appreciate the extra little detail there.
Right.
Yeah, that frame is in both versions. It's just a matter of it's much longer and less noticeable on the other one.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. I love how this is like a very unique sort of cover in the Pantheon style wise. I really look at Nathan's face and he looks very unique, but I do think that the artist was trying to recapture that style of Ayami Kojima, who started with the series in Symphony of the Night. So only the game previous, but now she's become like the mainstay major, artist for what you think of basically. Because she's games at this point, but when Circle came out, she had only been in the one. And I do think they were trying to kind of recapture that, but that Dracula is not how she drew Dracula at all. He looks,
I know.
And I'm pretty sure in the game, that's actually the talking graphic.
Yeah. Yep.
Dracula, I'm pretty sure. But Hugh Baldwin, it's funny, he's just like a side character. He kind of is part of the story. He'll come in and out, in certain key moments in the game. And I think he starts out and he's your buddy, and I sort of think he becomes like, I don't know, possessed or sort of gets caught up with what's going on. I don't know. He turns
He
bad,
falls
but
in with
then
Drac.
Yeah, something like that. And I think don't you get to play as him in the end? Isn't it like a code or no? I know in the later games they started doing that. There was like whoever the like rival character was would always be playable at the end. But
I don't remember if he was. He may have
remember, but I know in the sequel, it was Julius Belmont that you can play as, who was like a secret character.
Yeah, that was in the one that came 2 games after this. Yeah, on the Game Boy Advance stuff.
Yeah.
The final game for the GBA, Aria of Sorrow. But anyway,
both amazing covers, both amazing. I mean,
for sure.
I think it's interesting to see how much artwork was cut out of the American and how good it still turned out. Because they're like,
I know,
half the space. Like, what are we supposed to do here? We have half the space. So it's like, it's that thing where, the whoever's job it was, the graphic designer, or if it was the original artist, I kind of doubt it, but who decided, less is more. Yeah, we're gonna lose Dracula, we're gonna lose Hugh, we're gonna lose that cool gargoyle, but it's those things would be crammed into such a small frame, and it's not going to do the piece any justice. So it's like, let's just cut out half because we have half the space, and then they sort of move things around, and Nathan's lower, so you're not seeing as much of his lower half, and the castle's a little bit different. You're actually seeing a little bit more of the sky, and they put that bat there behind behind the logo, like you guys mentioned. And yeah, I mean, I think that it was a really tough job to say, take this amazing fucking piece of artwork and destroy half of it. I mean, that's I don't want that job, but I think they did a really good job. So, I mean, the Japanese wins hands down for me.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Same here.
I agree.
I don't know
I
how
agree.
you cannot pick it. I mean, it's just amazing.
I just wish the American version came with the poster that showed the whole thing.
That would have been awesome.
I think that would have
Yeah.
been amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Because
That way we're not maybe losing out on the box art, but at least we'll have the actual picture, the actual poster.
True. Even if it was like a wraparound of the book or something like that.
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
something.
And I do agree with 8-bit that the font is, as much as I love the classic Castlevania C and everything like that, I really like honestly, I like the font of the Castlevania, I think, better on the Japanese too. Just the treatment of it makes me like it more.
Yeah.
Not the shape, but the treatment of that like red and then having Circle of the Moon, which is in English funny, right?
Funny
like
enough,
you have Castlevania
Right.
written, or Umajo Dracula written in Japanese, and then Circle of the Moon is in English, and then underneath that small is, I assume, a translated version of Circle of the Moon,
Right.
in Japanese. But it does, like, why bother saying Circle of the Moon in English? It's weird.
Yeah,
It is
it's really
weird.
weird.
But
And it also says Game Boy Advance in English too.
it does, yeah. And Konami,
And Konami.
your favorite.
Yes.
Good
Excellent.
shit, though. I think this is an awesome game to start with, and honestly, kind of different than most, because a lot of the ones we talked about in the series and tonight are going to be like totally fucking different, completely different directions, totally nothing alike, these two pieces of art. And in this case, it's like the same piece of art that they just had to cut and like paste and like do something different with because the space was halved. But like you don't usually see that. You do sometimes see it, but I would say it's more rare than what we usually see.
Right,
This is the only game that's going to be like this tonight, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
But pretty cool
All right.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
So let's move right along.
Let's move on. Let's go on to now. We can go to boss rush mode.
Okay, fine. We can go to me. All right. So my first game, which is the Castlevania portion of the episode, or part of the portion, is Castlevania: Legacy of Darkness for the Nintendo 64. So it came out in Japan in December of 1999, but actually came out in North America a month prior, in November of 1999. So, and that cover for the US of A, we have oh man, I can never remember this stupid werewolf's name. What the frig?
It's Purdue. No, it's Harvard. No, it's definitely Ivy League. Cornell.
It's
Cornell.
Yale. Yes,
Cornell.
Yale.
Cornell.
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 Cornell. All right, so
Colonel.
we have Cornell standing on like the pretty much like the right side, and it looks like it's a computer generated graphic. Definitely not a game graphic. Not for this game anyway, because it's all polygon in the N64.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible graphic, but definitely not the best I've ever seen. He looks a little derpy.
He does.
He's kind of got that he's kind of got that 1,000-yard stare going. So
Right.
and he's holding a skull in his hand, and which kind of looks like an afterthought, like it wasn't originally there. They're like, oh, let's put the skull in his hand, because you can't the top half of the skeleton he's standing on anyway.
Did Rob Liefeld do this? Is this like that's such a Rob Liefeld move? Like he sees a hand, he's like, oh shit, now I gotta put something in that hand. I shouldn't have had it.
Yeah, pretty much. And it looks like
a big beefy skull.
Big beefy skull, yeah. And it looks like they're on the surface of the moon, even though the moon's in the sky in the background. So that's kind of a little weird.
Very weird.
And well, of course, you have the castle in the background, and you also have the Undertaker. Oh no, that's actually Dracula, up in the top left there, which is a interesting addition. And by interesting, I mean weird. And why the fuck do they do that?
It looks bad.
Straight up not great.
It looks pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And then you have the gorgeous Castlevania logo, nice and shiny. You know, it's got a nice little sheen to it.
Definitely the best part of the whole box art.
Yeah,
that looks really, really good.
And you never see it green. They never.
Never.
Yeah, it's got a green hue around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Legacy of Darkness below it, and some sort of
Yep.
scratchy, like rawr, animalistic lettering or whatever.
Hmm.
Overall, not a bad cover, but definitely not the best in the series by by a long
Right.
shot.
Right.
We can mosey on over to the Japanese or the PAL version or whatever the hell this. It says PAL version on the bottom right, so we'll go with PAL version.
I do think that the PAL and the Japanese were the same. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you'll have, Cornell again, except this time he's standing on a very precarious-looking piece of rock formation there.
Which doesn't
I-
look strong enough to hold his
Do
weight.
not step out onto that. Like, what do
Yeah.
you do?
Dude, don't
man?
step on that.
He's like, this is going to be an
Don't step-
amazing photo op. Maybe they'll use this for a cover of a video game. And he's on that. He's got his arms outstretched. He looks like he's in just about to howl. He's not quite in the howling stage yet, but he's about to do it. He's got some like cool mist going around him, and it kind of like looks like it's flowing off of this pile of skulls that's off to on the left side of the cover. Then you got some like rocks and stuff, filling out the left side. A little bit of the castle in the background, like way in the back. You almost miss it actually. It's like one tower, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then we get back to the center. We have the moon is like humongous and looking really cool. Like a boat
Big
and
buttery moon up there.
Oh,
boat,
so good. I
boat
just
and
want to
bats,
lick it.
boat and bats, and filling out the right side there.
Boats
You
and
got the
bats,
castle-
boats and bats, and boats
Boats
and
and
bats,
bats, boats and bats.
Exactly.
Boats and bats.
And you have the Castlevania logo on the top there. It doesn't look it's the same logo, but it's colored a lot differently, and it's not nearly as striking and as bold and as shiny
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
the American version is. It still looks really good, but I like the one of the American version better as far as the logo
Mhm.
goes. You have
Yeah.
Legacy of Darkness, more of like a script font, which looks nice, but you kind of, that doesn't really stand. It's a little bit weak, little bit meh.
Yeah.
And it's
in
above
the picture.
Castlevania.
Yeah, I
It's
was
a-
gonna say
yeah.
it's about Castlevania.
Yeah, that's true.
So is the game called Legacy of Darkness? Castlevania?
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like it should have come underneath, but they were like, oh shit. Oh, there's no room.
Yeah, we got Cornell there, so we can't do that.
Right.
We got Yale the werewolf. The werewolf.
Yep.
Werewolf.
With the rebel Yale.
Werewolf. Yeah. So, and of course, like in both versions of this box art, the Nintendo 64 had the thing where a portion of the right side of the box was just like, hey, here's like the number of players, compatible with like different devices that you can plug into the N64 controller, the N64 logo, and the seal quality and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, I like them both a lot, but I definitely like one more than the other, and I'll save that until everyone else gives their opinions on these two pieces of box art.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the PAL version for sure. Mostly because the artwork is obviously a million times better. It's all hand drawn.
Yeah, it really is.
I also love the color scheme a lot.
Yeah,
I love the teal and
Mhm.
the oranges and reds. It's very pleasing to the eyes.
It is.
At least to my eyes, anyways.
My eyes are pleased.
Mine
Yes.
too.
Nice. I'm glad we're all in agreement.
Good.
Yes.
I love the palette.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
actually
absolutely.
Bright lavender.
Palettevania.
Right.
It's like Cornell looks lavender. The back of the Castlevania, that like plate that they have behind the word, that's like lavender. The moon's kind of lavender. The face in the sky is kind of bluish, but kind of lavender. The moon's kind of lavender. Like it's pretty lavender. And
Right.
I really like the teal and orange, like you said. It's really
Yeah.
cool. And I mean, Cornell I think looks a million times better, but
Yep.
also like he's in a cool pose instead of just being like really just like derpy, just kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, oh,
Just sitting there like, what?
see you guys come in. Oh.
It's like in every other American cover, like the character has to be like angry.
Yeah,
And
Right.
Cornell in this version is just like,
He's
"Oh,
just what?
he just looks
interrupted-
like a good doggo. I mean,
You
that's,
interrupted me,
He's
like,
he's like derpy angry.
yes,
right.
yes.
He's
like,
he's
you
derp
just
derpgree or something.
You interrupted me not actually holding a skull, but I'm holding a skull for some reason now.
He's like, I'm not doing any what. Nothing.
I was just trying to remember why I picked this up.
Yeah, and I will also add, kind of like what Boss Rush Mode said, was I do love the logo better on the American version, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Castlevania
Yeah.
portion of it.
Yes.
Typically.
Yeah.
It is a lot brighter. It does have the outer glow. Makes it pop a bit more and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I love the boat. I love the bats and boats and bats.
Yeah. Boats and
Yep.
bats and boats and
And,
bats.
those
And
pilots.
I love.
the
I also. I
pilot
love. I
skulls.
love the signature underneath the platform that Cornell's standing on. That's really cool. Nice.
Oh, I
Nice
didn't
little touch.
notice that.
Yep.
Yes, that's the best part, though.
Best
Look at
part.
that.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
nice.
That makes
That's
it.
nice.
That makes it.
Yeah, good stuff. I remember when I first found out about this cover. This is one of the ones I actually have known about for a really long time. I had never seen the Circle of the Moon Japanese cover until we were doing this episode. But Legacy of Darkness I found out about years ago, and I was straight up pissed. I'm like, fuck, are you fucking kidding me with this bullshit? What
is
the
this
hell?
crap?
Right.
So yeah, I definitely, without any reservation whatsoever, picked the Japanese version, the PAL version.
Yeah.
A million times better in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same here. Definitely PAL version.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. All right, moving on. Parasite Steven.
Yes, sir. So I have for my Castlevania game, I've picked the oldest one because I am old, and I like old shit. And so for mine, we're gonna go all the way back to Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse.
Yes.
Dracula's Cois.
Yes.
We're gonna start a really bad Cois. If I assume you guys all get that. So
Yes.
starting with the USA one, we have, of course, this very familiar gray box with the lines that Konami loved to give us back in the early days
Mhm.
of the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I really love this cover. I love it so much. I have a framed poster of it in the studio, and this is also a favorite game of mine. I think we're all pretty big fans of this particular one.
Yes.
Definitely
Yeah.
my favorite on the Nintendo. Personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's just got a hell of a lot of narrative in there, and that's, I think, another thing that I really love about that Legacy of Darkness one is just there's story in there. There's parts of levels. Why is there a ship there? You know, there's interesting things. It's not just like a guy standing in a fucking void.
Yep.
So
Right.
this is, you know,
Right. He's
you
not
have
standing on a moon or anything.
looking at the moon.
Something
He's moon
crazy.
gazing on the moon. Like, he's like, oh, you can moon gaze. You want to moon gaze with me? Like, come on, we'll moon gaze. Like, you can look
Called
down
Let's
or up,
Moon
either way.
Gaze.
It's super fucking easy. Look any direction, you see moon. But anyway, so here we have Trevor Belmont, and he is looking just incredibly beefy and badass. And he's standing on some gears, which obviously are
Pass.
big Castlevania thing. There's lots of
Beef-ass.
levels. And yeah, he's fighting the skeleton, and behind them we see Sypha, another one of the playable characters, and she is shooting fire from her frigging fingertips because she's just
Pew
such a
pew,
badass.
motherfucker.
And she is just killing what I assume is like one of those two-headed dragon bone things. I don't know. Maybe I'm just totally wrong. Maybe is there a dragon boss?
There is a dragon boss. Yeah.
All right, it's
Like a
probably the
serpent
dragon.
type deal or something. Like two-headed serpent.
Maybe it's that, but definitely a dragon thing. Pretty cool looking. And above them, we have another playable character, Grant Dynasty. And he's doing something that he can actually do in the game, which makes him unique. And that is crawling up the wall. Pretty awesome that they worked that in.
Yeah.
He's getting kind of menaced by, I think it's a bat, unless it's a bird.
Or it's an owl bat.
An owl bat. It's a bowel.
It's a vowel.
Bow. Bow.
And then behind all of that, we see in the far distance, we see Castlevania. Very, very fun, awesome, amazingly done cover that, I mean, just every bit of it is immaculately painted. The color scheme's incredible. It really swirls in the hot and the cold. You have the reds. Well, they're not really reds. They're like warm colors, orange, yellow, all that stuff, on Trevor, and then going up the right side. And then that's fire that's being shot from Sypha's hand, and then in the far back. But in between, everything else is this cool color, and it really is just very organically swirling around each other. It's such an interesting piece. I really, really love this cover. So it's gonna be tough to beat. in case
Right.
I wasn't making that obvious. So if we pivot to the Japanese cover, we say, oof, oh God.
Ow.
I've seen it before, and that still hit me in the face.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So in the front, we have Trevor, played by Cheese McLarge-Huge. Basically every big, dumb, beefy guy in a stupid action movie. He looks like he has about 3 brain cells, and 2 of them are busy making sure he's holding that whip right. I think. I mean, he just looks like such a numbskull. And in front of him, in what I can only assume is either an accident or maybe it's just the the lack of ability in the artist. I don't know really what else to say, but we have Grant, who's just scaled wrong. He
Yeah.
Completely wrong.
Just does not look right.
I mean, he looks like a lemur. It's like, what?
He
He's
does.
lemur sized. Like, what? Why is he that size? It doesn't make any sense. He's in front. He's in
Right.
front of freaking Trevor. Do you not understand how this works? If he's in front, he would be bigger. Like, come on.
Right.
Well, if he's directly next to him, but slightly in front, he would at least be the same scale. So it just makes no sense. He looks completely wrong. Behind Trevor, we see my favorite part of this cover, which is Sypha. And what I really like about this particular picture of her is that what they've done is clearly repainted the drawing of her from the manual.
Right.
So there's a very, I feel like that's a very iconic pose. And it's really just because it's in one drawing in the manual. But to me, it's iconic because I've seen it a million times. And she's just sort of holding this like glowing orb of magic sort of between her hands. And she's looks great, I think. And obviously behind them, we see a vampire guy, which could easily be taken for Dracula. But of course, in this game, the last playable character who was left off of the American version, as far as I can see, unless he's supposed to be one of them bats, is Alucard, the very first appearance of Alucard. But in this game, this was before he looked like a pretty white-skinned dude with long white hair. This is when he kind of just looked like Dracula. So
Just a Drac stand-in.
yeah, he just looked like Dracula. He had short black hair. He looked like the Lugosi type Dracula, sort of Christopher Lee kind of. And he's kind of boring. It's been so long now we've had Alucard look the other way, so it's really tough for me to feel like that's Alucard. It really kind of hurts.
Yeah.
And then back from there, we see, Castlevania. There's a big skull in the background in the sky, which I mean, it could be a skull. It could be the Grim Reaper. I don't really know. I mean, obviously, Death is often the second to last boss in these games, so he's definitely a mainstay of the series. We have a swarm of bats, and Dracula's face is kind of missable in profile on the right side.
Totally.
Very blue, just kind of a wash. Not really interesting. Personally, I don't really find this to be a very good cover. It's not the worst thing ever. We've certainly seen a lot worse, a number of worse covers than this by far. But there are some big, I would say, artist errors in here. Definitely lemur-sized Grant, and just the fact that Trevor looks like a numbskull. I mean, he's oh my God, dude, like.
Yeah.
He had trouble tying his shoes. Like, he did. He is through the hole under the, I don't know. And I do think that the way, if I'm gonna give this one any credit at all, because obviously I'm picking the other one as my favorite, but if I can give this any credit at all, I do think that the logo down at the bottom looks pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it does, with the blood splatter.
Yep, and I like the way that they decided to make the bottom white. I mean, they didn't fade into it. It's kind of this stark sort of diagonal that they just kind of threw in there. But I do think that it looks very striking, seeing that logo on the white. I think it looks really cool. And I do like the bloody top row of whatever it says. I don't know if that's Dracula's curse, or I kind of assume the big lettering is Castlevania or Akuma Joe Dracula. Anyway, that's it for Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. What you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the American version as well because it's so iconic for me. That's what I grew up with, and again, I love the color scheme. I think it's fantastic. the overall quality of the artwork is top notch. It's very detailed, and the Japanese version is just garbage. It's awful. To look at. It's so terrible. I mean, yes, Sypha is the best one in this picture, but
Right.
holy shit! I mean, what the fuck is? I mean, what the fuck is the deal with Grant's teeth?
Yeah,
So
he just looks
he's
like a
got
rat.
rabbit tooth. He's got rabbit tooth or rat tooth or something. I
He
don't
looks
know.
like a rat, yeah. A
Oh
rat
my
with a flat snout.
God.
He's a
Yeah, he's like,
ratty leader.
It's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck were they thinking?
and yeah.
Yeah.
I mean everybody on there just
No,
looks.
it's
some
like one of those
therapy.
things. Like you're grossed out by it, but you just can't help it. Just keep watching. It's like you just keep looking at it. It's like, why is this so wrong?
Yeah, it
And
is.
Trevor's
I don't get
whip
it.
is like just disappearing into Alucard's sleeve for no
I was just
I
gonna
know.
mention
What
that
the
too. I was
fuck?
I was just gonna mention that, like, my favorite part of this cover is actually Alucard like casting a Trevor out of his cape.
Just summoning a whip.
Oh man.
Summoning a Dirtmont.
Right,
Oh,
right.
man.
And another thing too, I
Hughes
want to
McLeod
add.
Huge will appear fully grown from the void of my infinite blackness of my cloak.
I just want to add, for the longest time in the American version of this box art, I always thought that Trevor was standing on some fucked up stairs.
Oh no, it's
But it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's they're gears, but I'm like, when I was a kid, I'm like, well, those stairs are really messed
The
up.
stairs are totally fucked.
What's wrong with those
Right.
stairs?
you're
My
like you
God,
think you're like so much smarter than the person who drew this. You're like,
I know.
you don't even know how stairs work. Oh my god.
Man, you
Oh my goodness, this
dumbass.
is so embarrassing. You don't even know
Uh,
stairs.
Oh my God.
yeah, and like Parasite Steve mentioned, like they totally forgot to put Alucard, and they're like, oh fuck, just put a bat.
Yeah,
just do a bat.
Right.
It's funny because you could very easily throw him back there just as a very small silhouette.
Right.
And at least he would be in it.
Yeah,
Like, it wouldn't hurt this piece to have a little guy standing back there in that blue section.
right.
It wouldn't hurt the piece. It wouldn't be great, but I just don't think it needs another big figure. So, but it's funny. But yeah, well, we can pretend he's one of the bats. Maybe.
Yeah,
he is.
pretty much.
Yeah. We'll just go.
And like with the American, obviously, like the gray box thing was like the American thing Konami did. So you lose a lot of real estate, but what you do get is amazing. And the Japanese box art proves that just because you have the real estate doesn't mean you utilize it very well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you fill it with ugly, it's not worth it.
You know what's
Right.
funny? I was actually, I don't know if these were like real box arts, but I saw one of Dracula's Curse where the artwork was the same, but it had like the ultra boxed with the black on the two corners.
Huh.
Right.
It was really weird. So I don't know if those are like legit or not.
I don't know. I didn't think that they used Ultra for this, but
Yeah, I didn't think so either. So that's why I was like, I don't know if it feels like some fan made thing or something.
It might have just been in another region where like they just released it under the Ultra name.
Maybe.
possible. Totally possible.
It's
But yeah,
possible.
awesome game, and definitely one of my favorite covers on the NES is this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, I do think it's hard to say it's better than the original, just because, I mean, if you want to say iconic, I don't think there's too many video game box arts, period, that are more iconic to me personally than the original Castlevania.
The original. Yeah.
Right.
It's been
Yeah.
parodied so many times, it's just ridiculous.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I would go as far as to say it's better than that particular one, but
Right.
But it is worthy.
Yeah,
So,
very
yeah.
worthy.
Yeah.
Very worthy. Definitely a lot better than the Simon's Quest box art for sure.
I mean, and honestly, I love that box art as well.
Oh yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
it's
But it's definitely
yeah.
out of the three, it's my least favorite out of the three.
Right, yeah.
I agree, but I do think it's still a pretty great cover. But,
Yeah, it's still good.
Right.
but we're not covering Simon's Quest tonight. What do we got, Nintenjoe?
Well, I am doing the best Castlevania game that came out on the PS1, which is Symphony of the Night, which is also the only Castlevania game to come out on the PS1.
So there.
So there. Yeah. Where do I start? This box art
At the
is
beginning.
by far like one of the worst box arts I've seen for the
Right.
Castlevania franchise.
Just anything.
Almost
Yeah,
anything.
it's just bad in
Almost
general.
anything, but this is really, really bad. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the best part about this is the logo.
Yeah.
And even that's not that great.
Yeah, it's not the best, but I do like the red, the glowing red around.
Yeah, they got rid of the plate that goes behind the letters.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This looks like it was made on Microsoft Paint back in '95.
Right.
They just poorly cut and paste. They just threw up some random castle. You don't even see the little section where Dracula is. There's like no little porch or little building or whatever. This guy in the background is like purple and black with lightning strikes, and then you see the moon. There's always a moon in these games, just on the top right corner, and that is basically it. It's very boring to look at. Thankfully, the game more than makes up for this lousy artwork. And let's see here. Where is my second pick? There we go. Okay, so the Japanese version is a million times better.
Oh my
I
God.
forget who the artist is who did this.
Ayami Kojima.
Okay.
She's who I mentioned earlier as being the mainstay famous artist at this point.
Yes.
When she did this, nobody ever heard of her. I don't think. At least nobody in America had ever heard of her. That's for sure.
I think her parents knew who she was.
I mean, I think so.
Or maybe her family and friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
She might not have had any though.
Her kids are nice.
Maybe. Right. So I love this artwork so much. It's beautifully done. It's very detailed. You see Alucard, the redesigned Alucard, the way that we all know and love. And he's just standing there, and he's got his sword on one hand. He's kind of like he has the sword up to his head almost, and he's making a fist with the other hand. And you see Dracula's castle.
A huge fist.
A huge fist.
Yeah,
very
a big
huge
fist.
fist.
Yeah.
It's very big. Very big fist.
Questionable proportions are going on here.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Strange things are afoot, but continue.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, still better than the American artwork.
Oh my God. I mean,
So I'll take the mistakes.
that's like saying a filet mignon is better than getting kicked in the nuts. I mean,
Right, yeah.
Right. And
no,
you
that's
see,
filet mignon.
And you know what? It's really not as much of a fist as it's just him holding a crucifix.
oh yeah, that's true. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's holding a crucifix. I did not even notice that until you
I
mentioned
didn't either.
something.
I've never noticed that.
Huh.
And he does have like that slender waist going at least. So if
He
you look
does,
at
He's
it,
a
yeah.
slender man.
So
He's
you
Slender
know
Man.
he's
not
slim.
loose.
He's in shape.
Yes.
He's in shape.
Yes, he does have a shape. That's for sure.
He has a shape. So in the background you see the moon, and in front of the moon you see Dracula's castle, which actually looks like Dracula's castle, not some random stock footage of some photo bucket picture of a
Shutterstock.
Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
Right. And right next to Alucard on the bottom right you see a dragon that's kind of looks like it's wrapped around like a some type of bar or something. I don't know what you want to call it.
I could never.
I'm trying to figure out like
decide if
what
this
it
was
is. I
supposed
don't
to
know
look
what
alive,
it is.
or if it's supposed to be just like an ornament that's on something that's near him.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah, 'cause I think
the candles are just.
I think it's like a
Yeah.
like a very ornate candelabra because it extends to the top too, on the
Yeah,
right side.
yeah,
Okay.
I noticed that too.
that's
Yeah,
what
it was really weird. But I mean, again, I think it looks really cool. And in front of Alucard, you see, candles, which is very,
Not lit.
very
what the fuck?
Castlevania thing.
There
So.
it is. Yeah, not lit as fuck.
Right. Wait. So if they're not lit, then don't whip them because you won't get anything. Is that how it works? Or
I
I
think.
think maybe it's unwhippable.
or
You gotta
don't
ask
hit him
Kojima.
with my sword since it's Alucard, so he'd use a sword. So
Right.
and he's got one in his other hand. So
Ask Ayami Kojima. Lucky for you, you've heard of her.
Right. So yeah, that's Symphony of the Night. Oh yeah, also I do love the lettering, the font that they use.
Yes.
yeah,
Very good, very good. It's nothing too flashy, but I do like the reds that they used.
Mhm.
It's on like mostly on like the smaller fonts, and where the X is, it's kind of like it's more red on the bottom, and then as it goes up, it gets darker and darker and darker, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
So yeah, that's Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, this
Very
is one of my
cool.
favorites, I think, and it really another case of me being like super pissed off. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
what the fuck, Konami? Are you goddamn kidding me?
No shit. Why would you throw out that
Why do you
artwork?
hate it so much? I don't
Do
understand.
you think we're stupid? We can't handle awesome artwork?
They're like, oh, they're never gonna get it, and I part of me wonders if it was because this was back then, and I don't know, like trans people were a lot less accepted than they are now, and maybe they thought that like the fucking dumb beef-eating Americans wouldn't be able to freaking handle it because it's a guy who looks like a girl. I literally wonder these things. Like, why?
Maybe. Yeah.
Why
It could
would
be.
you not give us this? This picture is freaking amazing. It's so beautiful. It's ridiculous. I mean, the proportions are questionable. His hands are two different sizes, and technically his left hand is just, oh my god, it's bigger than his head.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And his head is honestly kind of
Well,
like,
he's half vampire, so he's probably just having a reaction to the crucifix.
probably. And also, how many friggin' like who stacks their collars like that? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot of collars.
a lot of
Yeah.
collars.
Alucard does.
And I mean, they're big too. It's like you got a good 12 inches of collar. And that 12 inches goes from his like collarbone area to like up to his cheek. It's like, wait, how long is your neck? How small is your head? Wait.
Right.
Okay, forget it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I love
I mean,
it.
it's a bigger collar than Vampire Hunter D's.
Yeah,
And his is pretty big.
it's pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is awesome. I love
Yeah.
this. Even though I'm ragging on the proportions, I don't care. I love every bit of it. And I
Right.
just fucking
Right. I mean, I'll take the imperfections on this over the American
Oh,
right.
artwork.
Yeah.
Over the
Yeah, but-
universal imperfection
Right.
that is the American
Right.
one.
Right.
Like, yeah, the candles aren't lit, but yeah, I'll still go with the Japanese version.
Despite what the candles are doing.
Right.
And you got to think they've been there for hundreds of years, so he's probably just conserving them.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Like what drives me, I think, most crazy about the American one is, well, probably most is knowing what we didn't get. But if I didn't know that, just looking at it in a void, it's like this is in a sea in a world of like 1,000 pictures of just dark sky and castle and lightning and moon. If that's the recipe, this is shit.
Yeah.
Right. This is a bad version of that trope.
This is like
Yeah.
terrible, even for that very boring, overused concept. It's just it just sucks. I
Yeah.
hate it so much. It pisses me off.
Yep.
But anyway, great game. We got the short end of the stick.
We sure
Definitely.
did.
Yep.
All right, so we're through with Castlevania.
Yeah.
We've made
All
it.
right. All right, so let's move on to the next segment where we talk about other games that's not Castlevania.
All right. So now that we have finished our awesome Castlevania block, we can start talking about spooky games that aren't Castlevania because fuck it, they exist too. And
That's
they are
right.
also worth talking about. And they also have box art. So here we
They
go.
do.
They do have
Dude.
box art, don't it? And then can you even believe it?
I can't.
I
I can, but only because we already downloaded.
only
all the
right.
images.
Only because we have them. We have the JPEGs to prove it. So this game is called Splatterhouse 2. And Splatterhouse 2, which is also known as Splatterhouse in Japan, because, you know, it's just more fun to say that. Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse 2 came out in 1992 in America, and the first game in the series was a bit of a black sheep. It was one of the first games that really was extremely gory and graphic and horror themed and had, you know, blood and violence and spooky shit, like, you know,
Yeah,
but
splatter
pixel
really-
graphics.
The word splatter belongs in that title.
It does. You smack
Yeah.
enemies into the background and they splat on the background of the stage that you're in. Like it's pretty graphic.
And in with books, splatter punk is a term that's often used now for like extra violent, extra gory.
Exactly.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
this I feel like this game, you know, could very well have been the progenitor of like
I don't know that, but
popularizing that.
Yeah,
But
awesome.
so Splatterhouse 1 was popular, although it was, you know, a bit of a black sheep and, you know, not critically acclaimed.
I mean,
But
it's
the
not actually a
sequel,
sheep. We don't want to confuse
it's
that.
not.
We should tell
No,
people
no.
it's not really a sheep. It's a video
No.
game.
Fun facts: black sheep, not actually a sheep. But game. So Splatterhouse 2, which is a game, not a sheep, but also a black sheep, but a game. Splatterhouse 2 has two very different box arts going on between the Sega Genesis version. We are going to be looking at the North American and the Japanese, or rather the European, which is the same as the North American, except it just doesn't have this stupid border. We're not even going to include the North American one. The North American one, just for some reason, has this weird ass like 1 inch of blue on the top and side, and it's just straight up worse. It's just
the PAL versions. I agree. The one we should look at.
The PAL version is the one to discuss. So
the Mega Drive,
but at least it has a splatter effect.
It does.
That's
it does.
true.
The blue border is a splattery effect.
So there was like a very, very slight semblance of thought put into it, and that was it.
That was
right. They I don't know what they were doing really, but this the Sega Mega Drive version has the main character of Rick hanging out there, about to smash a xenomorph in the face with this metal rod, and it's it is equal parts cool and goofy. The cover is very colorful. It has a lot going on. You have this big red xenomorph looking thing, the monster from Alien. You got this wacky ass ghost back there with his big old mouth, just being like, "Ooh, dude, like watch out." And then you got this green octopus down there who's looking real stern and grabbing Rick by the middle. But he's looking cool. I like that guy. I like octopus.
Despite being too handsy with his little hands.
Right. He's getting all up on his calves and stuff, which is kind of intense.
He's almost getting a little suction cup full of Rick dick there.
Oh,
very close. Rick dick. So Rick, I want to say, just looks like he's made out of saltwater taffy. Like his body is too twisted. Like his shirt is just so torsioned. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like he doesn't look like he could possibly be twisting that way.
He's building up a lot of torque.
Yeah, he's about to unleash and just spin around like a top.
Right, but, his belt buckle would not be facing us directly.
No, it would be off to the side.
Much.
Yeah, right. So it's like his legs are just cemented forward, and his torso is doing all the turning.
Yeah, it's like he's pivoting it like the chest.
Yeah. Man, that's impressive, dude. And he's got this mask on. He's got this mask with these big old, eyebrows and these ridiculous teeth and shit. And
those eyebrows were awesome.
The eyebrows are so nutty.
They're like the Adam West Batman.
Yes. They are.
Yes.
They totally are. Yeah, it's just like Batman. It's weird. Splatman.
Oh yeah, Splatman. Yeah, you splat me right in the face. I didn't even.
Splat right in the face. So also, an element of this cover I have not really ever given credit to is all the hordes of zombies in the background, which look really cool. Like the mausoleum in the back, and there's some trees and stuff. But all the very fairly detailed little silhouettes of zombies are back there, and those look awesome, honestly. So I like this cover. Plenty. I think it's cool. It's goofy, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot to see. I enjoy it. So then, if you look at the cover for Splatterhouse, or also known as Splatterhouse Part 2.
Yeah, this one, we didn't get the part.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't get the part. Oh no, who got it? Japan, I guess.
Mom's favorite part.
That's my mom's favorite piece. Oh man. So you have a very different cover, which involves Rick still being up on the front. He's looking scary. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like he's gonna fuck me up. Whereas the one on the American one is looking very cartoony.
He looks like he's gonna fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just just full stop. Every meaning of full stop.
He's grabbing. He's reaching.
Right, it's like sleeveless, open-chested vest there. Man, he's gonna splatter your house.
He's ready.
Yeah, he is. That octopus from the American cover needs to get on this one because he's ready.
You got him on hot and bothered. That's the problem.
Like they need to meet up. And then so you got Rick, you got Jennifer's ghost, spookiness kind of thing in the top there, which is cool. She's the love interest character who you rescue in the first game, and she's in the second one. So that's neat. You have the house, which is like kind of skewed, kind of cartoony looking, but you know, gothic. Those windows are real fucking big. It doesn't even make sense. It looks like there's not enough house to hold those windows.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just like bam, window. You
Look
have
at
these
friggin' domes. Oh my god.
You have trees in the background which have people hanging from them, which is pretty
Right.
fucking dark.
That is
You
super
have like
dark.
3 different bodies hanging from their necks on the cover, which is like that's pretty fucking dark.
Yeah.
And then and so then at the bottom you have, you know, this one big blue slimy mouth thing on the left, and then you have a red gnashy slimy mouth worm
a
thing.
red herring.
It was red herring.
Because I'm sure that the ghost of Al Capone is none other than Red Herring.
Jones, get out of here.
Get out of here, Jones. So the red slimy worm thing is great because that is totally an enemy in the game. You know, very recognizable all over the game.
Very Splatterhouse. Just
Very
over.
Splatterhouse. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's definitely different. They went for something totally unique. I don't know which one necessarily better captures the game, but I feel like I have a clear winner for me. I think more so than another one, but I'll pass the puck around, see how people feel about this.
I mean, I will have to. I mean, I've gone back and forth on this a couple times. You know, just kind of looking at it on my own. I'm probably gonna have to go with I'm assuming it's the European one, the Mega Drive version.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have that shitty blue border on like the left and top,
Right.
as the American Genesis one does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how the logo is utilized better in this one than on the Splatterhouse Part 2 because it's like looks kind of like cheaply like just just
Yeah, it does look like it was
Wow.
just like copy pasted, like plop.
yeah.
You know what they did? They put a black outer glow on Splatterhouse, and then they just like copy and pasted it from there, but it was fading to white.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
it almost looks like there's 2 halos. You have a black halo and then a white.
And then a white halo.
Right.
The
Yeah.
white halo is only because they created the black halo on white, and then they were like, oh shit. So if they had not done that, if they had put the black halo on this, it would have looked completely
It
different.
would have totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
then-
should have
and then
faded to
the-
transparent, but it faded to white, so
Right.
it just looks like
Yeah.
crap.
Mhm.
Yeah, white's
Yeah.
white's clear.
My crap is white.
Yeah. And then you have the Part 2, which Part and the number 2 look like they're completely different fonts.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
like they have like
Yeah.
3 fonts going on, so it's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
I do really like the rest of the artwork just as artwork,
Yeah.
but I think I'd rather have this as a poster, but I like the Mega Drive one as the box art.
Agreed.
Right.
I feel that.
I mean, you guys did make some really good points about the Mega Drive version. I do like the colors a lot.
Yeah.
It's very colorful, and there's a lot more going on, which is really cool. And plus, there's no people hanging from trees, so that's
Right.
good. I mean, I prefer zombies, but not people hanging from trees.
Right.
But I will say with the I do agree with the Splatterhouse logo with the white. I think it looks really off. But
right.
the Part 2, I don't know. It kind of like reminds me of like 1980s slasher horror.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of that. But I mean, yeah, it just it does look out of place compared to the Splatterhouse logo. But as far as like art goes, I do like the Japanese version more.
Mhm.
Okay.
This is more up my alley.
They're both
But
good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think they're both good. I think
Yeah,
this
they
is
are.
really hard to choose because
closest
they
call
both have
so
the good
far.
and the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my biggest critique with the Mega Drive version is the border on the bottom, but that was pretty standard for Mega Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
can't
they
really
have to work in
fault
that,
the artwork on that.
And honestly, that's a lot less than like the big gray sides and top of the Konami NES game.
Yes, right.
That's like working in that theme of the weird that was what they chose, but it's like that black like grid. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Grid
Yeah.
paper.
Yep.
This is gray on black. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like for some reason video game
Architect
boxes.
drawings on it, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like for some reason video game boxes had like weird grids in the background. Like the NES had like the Capcom ones had the weird diagonal like neon grid in a lot of their earlier box arts, and the Sega Master Drive.
Or Master System.
Master System rather. The Master System games are like white with the blue grid.
Yeah.
Like really awful like drawings. So I don't know. That was
the
just kind
worst
of
artwork ever.
Yeah.
80s just love their grids, man.
They
Just-
did.
Grids
They
were
do,
so
yeah.
cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Just I blame the 80s more than anything, man.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I like both of these. I think this is the first, like I said, like the first not obvious winner of the night.
Right.
Yeah. It's really a tough call.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything everybody said. I do think that the Japanese one looks a little bit less like a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. To
Yeah.
me, it looks like I can't quite tell. It looks more Japanese to me for sure.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't look
Mm.
anime, it looks Japanese horror to me. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But it's
And the mask is like way different too.
oh yeah, so
Yeah,
I
it's very
mentioned that-
simplified.
Yeah, the mask is
Both
totally different, and they're both
depictions. Yeah, both depictions of the mask are not actually quite what it looks
accurate.
like in the game.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but either way, because I mean, the first game it was just straight up Jason, and then they sort of made it look more and more skull-like, but it never looked that skull-like as it does in
Right.
the American and the PAL version.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a skull like with 60s Batman.
A
Adam West.
skull with eyebrows.
But I don't know. So I think they're both kind of wrong in that sense. But
Yeah.
I think I have to go with the American and the PAL version. There's just something about it. I like the palette. I think it looks a little bit more polished, and it looks kind of more fun. Like there's a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do
Right.
think the series is a bit tongue-in-cheek, and I mean, it's so over-the-top gory and so gross. Like the point, and so many enemies and so many bosses, just to be as disgusting as possible, basically. And that's just what made this series stand out. Like you said, 8-bit, like nothing had really done that. There were horror games, but there weren't like gory.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
So really, very, very different, very gross, different sensibilities. But yeah, in the end, I'd say I'm gonna go with that. But I do think both covers are pretty damn awesome.
Right.
I would probably love either one as a poster. I like them both.
10 out of 10 would look at again.
I'll
Right.
definitely look at either one of these again. But I
Hands
could
down.
never see the Symphony of the Night American cover again and be perfectly happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Really. Really.
No problem.
Right.
Awesome.
All right. Moving on. Boss rush mode.
Hi, that's me again.
Hi.
Oh, hi, hi, Boss Rush.
We
Hi.
remember.
Yes. All right, so my second game is a game that is called Zombie Nation in the United States. Trying to, oh man, what was the name of it in Japan? It was like a Abarenbo Tengu or some jazz like that.
Oh, it's definitely something like that. Tengu is definitely in the title, and for good reason.
Right, and we will get to that momentarily. But
Yes.
first of all, this American cover, it's an eyesore for sure, because
Yeah.
you got three zombies, right in the front and center there, and it's they're zombies, so they're supposed to look gross, but they're in this like town, but it's like a model town, and like all the proportions are like are so weird, the ratios are off, and like the scale is just completely bonkers.
Yes.
It's like because it looks like you have a TV on top of a upside down Matchbox car.
Yep.
In front of what I'm assuming is like 15-foot tall zombies. It's
Right.
like, what?
Yeah.
It's like then you get like the buildings in the background. It's like, okay, and then behind that you have what you might misread as like a giant's head, because it's a giant stepping out from behind these buildings, but no, it's just a severed head, which is like the character you play as in this game. It's like it's a horizontal shooter, and you play as like this thing's head, and that's what that's the game.
Right.
Behind that is like the Statue of Liberty and
a decapitated samurai head who's for a sword.
Right, because that's what decapitated.
Which you will definitely be able to use.
Right.
Yeah. Because zombies came down, aliens rather came down to Earth and made the United States into a bunch of zombies. So of course the cure for that is a sword.
And I could quote boss rush mode for 1 second. I would also add because video games.
Yeah, exactly.
Tiger in Africa.
Video games.
Yep. And like behind that samurai head is the Statue of Liberty in the Chrysler Building because this game does take place in America. So.
Right.
It's in New York. New York.
One of the stages is New York. Yeah, they do kind of. One of the stages is Area 51, and then they go through a couple other regions, and I think there's only like 4, maybe 5 levels, but who knows? The game is. I hear it's one of those games that's just like stupidly hard for the sake of being hard. So I was like, I don't know. So no one really had a lot of fun playing it, I guess.
I don't think any of us have played this, right?
Yeah, I've never played it.
No, the closest I got was watching a long play, and it just it looks very difficult.
Yeah. And it's like, if I'm not mistaken, the way you get power-ups is just rack up a score or something. I don't know. You don't like pick up power-ups. It's like you destroy everything. Everything gives you points. Once you pass like point thresholds, you get power-ups or something like that. Or I don't know. It's such a weird power-up system.
Oh, Meldak.
Yeah.
Right.
Meldak.
Elf is from?
Yes, almost.
Almost.
That might be the neighboring planet.
Okay.
And then let's move on over to the Japanese cover, and holy shit!
Oh, Dad's my eyes. Oh,
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I think I'm staring at the inside of my retinas.
Right. I almost feel like I owe the American box art an apology for calling it ugly because god damn it, what is going on here? It's just like a smattering of like screenshots, and it's like there's like one layer that's like, okay, they got four rows of 4, so 16. Then they just have a random one just plopped on top of that, so there's probably like a grand total of like 18 or 19.
Ugh.
Like it's just, when I first saw this, I was like, all right, there's no way that's the cover. It's just like the title screen or just some weird print ad or something in Japan. But no, that's the friggin' box art, and it's the ugliest fucking thing.
Yep.
I mean, Castlevania Symphony of the Night may be like the most boring, just uninspired thing, but this is goddamn hideous.
This is like lazy. This is 100% pure laziness.
It is. It is the most lazy.
God.
Yeah, it just looks like somebody made this as like a bootleg. This is a bootleg like box art. It doesn't look like box art. It just
no,
looks
it doesn't.
like weird ass collage. And it's you can look on eBay. You can find the fucking box.
Yeah.
It looks like this, like the Meldak logo in the bottom, looking all out of place and shit. It's there.
Yeah. It's there.
Right.
Yeah,
So one thing you do get to see in this cover, though, is the different head you play as in the Japanese version, which you actually play as a Tengu.
Yes.
And or in the American version, you play as a disembodied samurai head.
Right.
For reasons, because why the
It's
fuck
like
not?
Because
video games.
Yeah.
It's like the kabuki interpretation of a Tengu, the red face, very, very long Pinocchio nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really funny actually. When you sent us the screenshots, the covers, and because we have like a joint messenger chat or whatever that we always talk about.
Right.
It's like, oh, you had found this and you had picked this game, and I'm like, why didn't he send the art cover? What is this weird?
Yeah.
Like it's just a collection of screenshots. I'm like this. And so then, but instead of saying anything, I'm like, well, I'll just look myself and see if I can find.
Why did he send me visual diarrhea?
I literally just didn't understand why you would have sent it. I'm like, I don't get it.
Silly boss rush.
And
you didn't send the right picture.
It was literally until I saw the physical photograph of the actual physical box, like you were just saying. It's like, oh my god, That's it.
Yep.
That is it. Oh my god, just absolutely in.
That is it.
So.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. It's like, are there any really? I want to. Like we got to pick a favorite, but are there really any?
There's no winners here. There's none.
There's really no winners at all.
I mean, I guess I have to go with the American one only because the Japanese one is just so hideous.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, another thing about the American one, it does like it's like claymation kind of thing. That
Yeah.
Right.
Style.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll give it points for that, at least.
Oh yeah, so I'll have to go with the American version, just kind of like begrudgingly, but.
Right.
The American version
Yeah.
to me looks like either the cover art of like a punk band, like some punk album
Yes.
or something,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like one of the random snippets that played in the Malcolm in the Middle intro. Like you would just see that for like 1 second and then it would
Yep.
be gone and you'd be like, what the fuck was just that? And you're like, oh, I don't know, whatever. It's just like,
you know what band it looks like? You know what band this could be? Easy.
Green jelly.
There's one band.
Green jelly.
There you go.
Yep.
green
Yep.
jelly.
Joe wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Green jelly just pops right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. So
But yeah,
bad.
I gotta agree.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Zombie Nation's definitely the one that the American one's better, but not by a lot.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a little
That is-
helicopter in the top left too. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
Just thrown in there. And there's like an impaled baby on top of the building. At least it looks impaled.
Oh yeah.
Well, what's this?
Like
Right,
Oh.
it's like right next to the
on the
giant
right
head.
side. Oh yeah, it's like a baby doll like climbing the top of a building.
Yeah, it looks like it got impaled
yeah,
or something.
it
but I
kind
don't
of looks
think-
like
I
it's
don't-
impaled, but
I don't
can't
think it
tell.
is. I don't think it is. It just looks that way, but I don't think it is.
That is weird.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Fuck.
And the pizza is 23 cents.
That's an affordable pie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
For
I mean,
sure.
hey, you know,
for sure.
when times are tough, you got to keep the people fed, I guess, right?
Right.
You
Especially
have
during
to.
the zombie apocalypse.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
when you have to.
In times of COVID or zombies, you got to
yeah,
eat. Actually, all times, really.
yeah.
Okay, then. For my second and last game of the evening, I have chosen the Super Nintendo classic Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Woo! Hear that theremin going in the back of my head. Let's start with the US box, as we've been doing. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Very different looking box art here. Clearly, it is a parody of old 50s movie posters, which I just am a huge fan of. I adore that sort of thing. So I really love that about this cover. I wouldn't say that it's like a great cover, but it is fun and very on brand and very on point for what they were going for. I do love like the font that they used. It is that
Yeah.
like hairy, like scary, hairy, scary, like, oh, I don't know.
Mhm.
At an angle, and it's just great. I love it. And then you have the I love the lady reacting, just looking at us.
Yeah.
Zombies just lumbering in the background. It's just fun. You know, and this game is really very tongue-in-cheek. It's very not serious at all, and it's just a fun throwback tribute to the movies of like the monster movies and the sci. It's really like horror and sci-fi movies of the mainly of the 50s, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good stuff. Pretty fun game. Definitely a game I think a lot of people like. So I don't know really what more to say about this particular cover because it is so simple, but obviously got that big spiral and stuff. So
Yeah.
let's check out the Mega Drive version. So this is the PAL version of the game, which I believe also is used in Japan, which does happen. We've already seen that tonight. So this is, obviously, it goes the other direction. We had a horizontal landscape sort of version for the Super Nintendo, because that's just how the boxes went. And in Japan, they were vertical. So weirdly, the game was actually just called Zombies.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
to me, like, kills the name.
Right.
Right.
Zombies? How many things are just called zombie? Like, that's so unbelievably
So not interesting. Yeah.
Zombies
Right.
neighbors. Well, guess what? If we are not talking about Super Nintendo and we are not talking about video games, and you say zombies ate my neighbors, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you just say zombies, you could mean literally anything. You could just
Anything.
mean
Yeah.
Right.
the monster, just overall. But it's like, oh no, I mean the game for Genesis. Oh, the one that came out. It's like, what? What a terrible idea. So I don't know if there was a reason that it was too violent of a title or something, or what the deal was, but very strange.
Yeah.
And we do have both of the actual characters in the game here. I can't remember their names. I think it's like Julie and Zach or something. I don't recall what their names are, but they are jumping on a trampoline, which is a mechanic in the game, and they're just surrounded by a buttload of monsters, mostly zombies. And also,
They all look the same.
They all look the same, just like in the game. And there's like the one werewolf and the one mummy.
Right.
Uh,
And maybe an owl in the tree. All you see is the eyes.
We don't know what's in that tree. Oh, it could be anything in there.
It could be anything.
Definitely, a fun idea with them, like supposedly jumping up towards us to get closer to the camera. But I don't know. It's not quite done that well.
That well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I get what they're going for and everything, but I don't know. I do appreciate the fact that both of the characters are in this one, where neither are in the other one.
Right.
They kind of, I think, a bit of a missed opportunity, even though they got the characters basically perfect. But they kind of didn't. They forgot that like 3D glasses are blue and red instead of black.
Right.
Right.
Because that's like his whole thing.
Right.
He's wearing 3D glasses.
Yeah, and the female character like doesn't have a neck, or it's her head's like attached in the wrong spot.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
She has no neck.
She actually looks really creepy.
She does.
Yeah.
She looks more
So-
creepy than the monsters.
She looks insane. She's a.
I mean, look at her
crazy
eyes.
person.
Her eyes are dead.
Those are soulless eyes. Right?
Dead eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Dead eyes.
So yeah, I don't know what else really to say about this one either. What do you guys think of these two covers?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the American version is way better. Only because, like you said, it's really 1950s horror, and I don't know. I think it's really awesome. I love the font. I love the fact that the lettering is all green, and the zombies are green too. Yeah, I honestly like it a lot. As far as the Mega Drive version, yeah, I mean the artwork isn't all that great. I don't know. It just doesn't really do anything for me, even though there is more going on. But I don't know. It's just not done very well to me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the American box art is iconic, or at least memorable. Like, it's very
Yeah.
eye-catching. I never really rented this game as a kid because
Yeah, I've never played it.
the box art never told me anything about the game. But
Right.
I remembered the box art forever. Like, that is super
Yes.
iconic to me. I will never forget what that box art looks like.
Right.
I will say that the Mega Drive version is definitely more indicative of the game.
Of the game.
I don't
Right.
I don't like it that much. Again, I think it's just poorly done.
Yeah.
But
Right.
ultimately it's showing me more of what the game is. Also, I don't like the change of the name to just Zombies. Agreed. I think that like completely ruins it.
Right.
Yeah, it totally does.
So yeah, I definitely like the North
And
American.
they even changed.
box
I don't even like
better.
the fact that they even changed the color too. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
it's like
Why is
the
it
green
red
just
now?
fits better. Yeah, the
Yes.
green fits so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
They're freaking zombies. Come on.
Yep.
Right. And I hate the fact that the zombies are all looking in different directions in the Mega Drive box art.
Right. They look
Yeah.
really weird. It's just like
Yeah.
where are they all looking?
They all look
Yeah.
like Doc from Back to the Future.
They do.
Yeah.
Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all just dark brown zombies.
Right.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I also like the American one. It's just more. Even though there's like less going on, like it's more of a minimalist thing and like less indicative of the game. It has more character overall.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so
It's got its own
simple.
personality. Yeah.
It's so simple, but it is memorable, and it is just it's a parody, which the game. It's not like the game's a parody per se, but it definitely contains parodies of a lot of different monsters and characters and stuff. And
yeah.
I don't know, like it's fun. It's definitely a fun game, like where there's exploration and you might see like some rare enemies. And I know that there's like one instance somewhere in the game where there's like a reference to the fly, and there's like a scientist guy who has the fly head and the hand is the fly hand, and he's just kind of like bopping around, and there's just only one of them in the game. And it's just like, why'd you throw that in there? Oh, because it's fun. And there's a neat thing you can find only one of. Like, I don't know, just cause. So, I don't know. It is a game that does sort of celebrate that era. And that's what this cover is doing. It is celebrating all the goofy fun of that. So, yeah, I agree. I have to go with the US version.
Yeah. Sometimes less is more.
Sometimes less is more. All right, so that's pretty good. If you guys are good to move on.
Guys.
What? Wait,
what?
What?
What? Dr. Matteo, where did you spring from?
Well, you can't move on yet. Zombies Ate My Neighbors had an alternate US cover.
What?
Get right out of town.
You showed up to fix our screw up almost exactly like you did in the original of Paint and Pixels horror, available right now on the Boss Rush Mode channel.
On VHS and at home near you.
How did this happen? It's like we planned it or something.
I don't know.
Almost.
So, all right. So
it's almost like it's scripted.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. So, yeah, tell us about this cover, Mr. and Mrs. Matteo.
Mr.
and Mrs. Matteo.
I think it's pretty cool. I like the font is different than all the other ones, but it's like similar, and I like the colors of it.
I mean, the artwork is very different.
Yeah, the guy kind of looks like he has a bobblehead.
He does.
He totally does.
It's true. Yeah, it's too big on purpose.
Also, why is there a creature from the Black Lagoon in the back?
Oh yeah, good spot in that.
Yeah.
There's probably creatures from the Black Lagoon in this game because that's the whole thing. It's like, versions of monsters from old movies. Like there probably is an enemy that looks like that. Wow, he is awesome actually.
He's
awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, totally
really
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that. And
that zombie is like pretty intense.
Yeah.
So I have some what is going on with the gun? It looks like it's squirting out like milk. And
I'm gonna go with oh, you think it's the stuff? He's squirting the stuff?
Yeah.
It's probably water.
No, it's a milk gun. He's shooting holy milk from a blessed cow.
He makes stuff using this thing.
It's soy milk. It's soy milk.
2% holy milk.
2% holy milk.
It also, I'm confused of how he's holding that gun. Because
it is awkward looking.
It's very awkward,
It
yeah.
looks like he's facing forward and then he's just holding the gun like sideways.
Right.
It's just like, and he's kicking the zombie. And there's also blood in the corner.
Or slime.
Or some kind of
Maybe
goop.
it's supposed to be the blob.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then there's
Looks like
there's
ketchup.
Cool werewolf in the background. I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
This is a pretty cool alternate cover. I've actually never seen this before.
There's a hell of a lot going on in it.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but like not too many. Like it's pretty.
Yeah, you got Adam Savage from MythBusters there with his 2% holy milk gun.
Right.
Oh it absolutely looks like Adam Savage from MythBusters.
It really does.
It really does. So they got his glasses even less right in this one.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not even close.
Yeah,
They're
these are
not
just-
even 3D glasses. They're
these are just more.
sunglasses.
At least the other one, like the Mega Drive one, like
It
they were
looks
the
like 3D
right
glasses.
ones.
They're the wrong color.
Right.
But these are just eyeglasses.
They're
Yeah.
3D sunglasses.
Yeah.
So looking at all three covers, Dr. Matteo, what do you think? What's your favorite?
I like the Super Nintendo US one.
That's the US,
Oh, that. What
and
is?
that's the PAL.
What's the last one?
Last one's US too. The one you just gave us is the alternate US.
I like the alternate US the best.
Nice.
I can't deny that. It is pretty
Yeah, I can't
awesome.
deny either.
Yeah. Does it change anybody's mind?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with this one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The artwork is just really cool. It's like, it's got a lot of stuff going on. The only thing I don't like is like the logo. I mean,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
The font is worse.
The font is it reminds me of Scooby Doo.
it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zombies ate my bubble gum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bubblegum zombie font for sure. I mean, Zombies Ate My Neighbors in the US, the regular US one is by far my favorite instance of the logo.
Yeah.
Right, mine
I like
too.
Yeah.
The green and it looks like the letters are made of wooden boards. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It
like
just reminds me of
broken,
that.
splintered wooden boards or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. All in all, a fun concept because we don't usually see this. We don't usually see alternate covers in one market.
Right.
Pretty
Right.
rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on and like being a part of our episode tonight, Doctor.
No
Yeah.
problemo.
I'm sure you got to get going, but you know what? Since you're here, I think a lot of people are listening tonight because they're waiting for us to drop the secret word so they can complete the Scare-O-Thon secret sentence, the Epic Airways podcast. And since you're here, would you like to drop the secret word?
I would love to.
Okay, why don't you go for it? then?
Please do. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, the secret word is drumroll, please.
Bum.
Two.
You guys hear that? The secret word is Klaatu. And I've been officially given clearance to spell that any way you see fit.
Thanks, Dr.
Yeah.
Matteo.
No problem. Thank you for telling it to you.
Awesome.
All right, so my final game is Godzilla Monster of Monster.
Keyarg.
Here. So this game is actually really fun. I like it a lot.
It is.
It's a very long game, I feel.
Yeah.
For an NES game, it's pretty long.
It's a long game for the wrong reasons, just like rampages.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Right. So I really like this box art. I think it's really cool. You see, Godzilla being all Godzilla-y, and he is, or she, I don't know what the sex is. It is blowing out like I want to say like an uncooked noodle, a spaghetti noodle or whatever. It's really, really weak and pathetic.
Barilla.
Yeah.
And then you see like a couple of UFOs that are in the game in the background just flying behind Godzilla. There's a lot of lightning going on. I don't know why there's lightning going on. And the sky is very starry. It's like nighttime. You see the spine that glows every time Godzilla blows fire.
Yep.
Which I think is really cool. I like the logo, just the Godzilla. I like that. I think that's really cool. But when underneath it says Monster of Monsters.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see because of the green that they use. It's really too dark.
Terrible.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wicked
it's
bad choice.
really-
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have like at least have it outlined,
Yeah.
or at least make it look more like Godzilla, where Godzilla is like a yellow with green outline.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks like they
something,
meant
do
to add the
something
yellow
with
in the middle, and then they just never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I think it's really cool. The PAL version or Japanese version is all in black and white. Well, mostly black and white. You see Godzilla, which looks like it was taken from a movie. It's like a screenshot from a movie. I don't know if the American version was like that too. I personally
American
don't.
one's hard to tell. I'm
Yeah,
not really sure.
yeah.
I sort of think it might be, but they might have colorized it by hand, possibly.
Yeah,
Maybe,
It's hard to tell. But with this one, it's in black and white. And Godzilla is totally doing the side eye thing.
Yeah.
And Godzilla is kind of like, I don't want to say outlined. I think it's just the way. I don't even know. It's like really weird. It's like all behind Godzilla. Yeah, it's all like white.
He's got the glow like Leroy Green.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He turned his pizza to Daddy Green's pizza, and then he destroys.
Right.
Right.
Direct your pizza to King Ghidorah's pizza.
Yeah.
Or King Ghidorah is, people want to go with those pronunciations.
Right. So in big, bold, red Japanese lettering, you see Japanese lettering. I don't even know what it says. It's really huge. It's in your face.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they did that. It makes no sense. But
that's the name, Gojira.
But on the top left, it says King of the Monsters, Godzilla, in English. I think I like that logo a little bit better. It's like the lettering is white with red outline.
Yeah.
And right above Godzilla says King of the Monsters, which I kind of feel like is a better title than Monster of Monsters.
Right.
And that's all in like just plain fonts, and it's all yellow. At least you can read it, unlike Monster of Monsters, where you can't really read it at all.
Right.
And underneath the name Godzilla, you see Toho Cinephile Soft Library or whatever. That's very plain fonts, and that's all in white. And at the very top left corner, you see like more Japanese writing. That's all in gray. And that's pretty much it, really. There's really nothing to it. So I would have to go with the American version because it's more colorful.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on, honestly.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Sure.
You got like, I mean, even though it's just like UFOs and lightning and I don't know, Annie's breathing fire. I think the fire actually, you said it looks like an uncooked noodle. I totally see him like crunching on one of those like old Italian restaurant like breadsticks that are just like crackery. He just looks like he's crunching on a breadstick.
Yeah.
I don't know any restaurant that actually serves those anymore, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like 1980s Italian restaurant bread.
Yeah.
Right.
Before there was bread, you got shitty cracker breadsticks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I do like them both. I really don't like the colors of the logo on the American one. I mean, like the style of the logo, I believe, is the same as like they used in like the old movies, like at least the Godzilla part anyway.
Yeah.
I just like the colors they chose were just gross looking. They just don't look good at all.
Yeah, yellow and green. It's like, John Deere? Why did you go with John?
Right. No kidding. God. Yeah, that's just not a good choice. I mean, and Godzilla looks fine, even though like the atomic breath is clearly an afterthought.
Yeah. Very obvious.
The lightning and the UFOs are kind of cheesy. So, but it's fine. It's all right. I really have to. I'm picking the Japanese one. I mean, it's super minimalist. It's just Godzilla giving you the stink eye. The big bold Gojira logo in Japanese font, which I just think looks really awesome. And it just gets your attention. It's like bam, Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the logo on the top left was almost unnecessary at that point. But I guess you have to say, hey, it's kind of a video game. You got the Famicom logo on the top left, so you got that going anyway. But I don't know. I just think this is just easier on the eyes, I guess. I mean, not that the other one's hard on the eyes, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just not doing it for me.
Right.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Had at least one where some of us picked different entries at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Japanese one is definitely bold for doing the movie poster kind of vibe. But I do think I just like the American one a bit better, despite its flaws. You know, it just it feels more like a game cover to me, and I kind of I don't know. I do like it, but yeah, it's plenty goofy and has that font choice on the Monster of Monsters was really bad idea. Like honest to God, I don't even think I noticed it said that for the longest time. Like I just thought the game was called Godzilla.
Godzilla. I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know Monsters of Monsters was even the subtitle until I actually started playing the game. You could actually see it on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Monster of Monsters. That's, and I just didn't even think of it. And then I looked at the box. I'm like, oh, it actually says that below there. Holy fuck.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like, oh my god.
Right.
Yeah, I do think it is brave to do a cover like this that's black and white. I mean, granted, I know the text is not black and white, but the image is purely black and white, and that's just really different. I don't even know if I can think of another game that looked like that looked just a black and white image. What? That's insane. I mean, obviously the movie was black and white. The game is not, of course. But, yeah, definitely different. I will pick the American one, but I like the Japanese one as well for pretty much the reasons that everybody said. I do think that the Japanese text is completely awesome. I love the big distressed red text with the very thin white outline. I think that looks amazing. And I like the small Godzilla King of the Monsters. Also kind of weird. The subtitle is above the main title, just like in Legacy of Darkness.
And different.
Yeah, I mean, the title is totally different.
Yep. Yeah. Neat.
Very cool.
All right, so I think that does it for Peyton Pixels Horror 2.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much it.
In and out with our crow's nest. It's pretty fun. That was fun.
Damn right.
You guys get a Retro Ridoctopus Halloween episode.
There you go.
Whether you like it or not.
Here it is. We remembered, kind of.
Kind of.
We remembered. Yeah.
We remembered eventually.
And let's make sure to remind everybody of our secret word.
Yes. The secret word is Klaatu.
Yes.
Klaatu.
Whoever, let's all just play. Klaatu. Yeah.
Barada.
It's just fun to say.
Necktie. Necktie.
Barada. What the fuck?
Barada is like a creamy cheese.
Well, then.
I'm just so
either way, our word is not Barada or Verada or Narada or any of the Veradas.
Or Velveeta.
Klaatu.
Just Klaatu.
Just
Pretty
Klaatu.
fun. So if you want to listen to the other shows, Joe, do you got them? Do you got them handy? Gonna rattle off again?
You got your jam handy?
Handy?
The other shows, yes. I got the other shows right here. Super handy. So please check out these awesome shows. Epic Tales of Darkness, Amalga Cast, Epic Tales Podcast, Those Not So Super Dudes, Epic Tales from the Sewers, Amalga Files, and our very, very dear friends, Throwdown Thursday. Please check them out to get the other secret words and come back tomorrow for the final episode so that you get the whole phrase.
That's right. Amalga
That's tomorrow
Cast
being the 31st of
Amalga
October.
Cast.
Yes, on Halloween.
Yes.
So you got a pretty fun countdown to the holiday that we love and almost forgot.
Yeah.
Because we love it so much.
The first, hopefully annual, I don't know if it will be, Epic Airways Podcast Network's first annual Scare-O-Thon. Hey, they actually say first annual in the graphic I made. All right, then. I thought maybe we were going a little far with that, but I guess
A little presumptuous, but hey, we'll see how it goes.
Hey,
We might never do this again, but it's still the first annual.
Hey. And thanks to Dr. Matteo for coming on and hanging out with us for a little minute there and correcting us as we forgot another cover. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Grown.
Yeah.
Right.
She doesn't get to be on the show as much, but our roving reporter was definitely on more towards the beginning. I think around those times. I think she appeared on 2 or 3 episodes of Paint and Pixels. She was definitely on 2 at least.
Yeah.
I think she was also on either Action or Ninja. what
I
was
don't
the
recall
Alien
specifically.
Storm. Was it Alien Storm that she corrected us on?
Oh, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah,
Sci-fi. So sci-fi.
That seems right.
Yeah.
that's sci-fi. Okay,
I
yeah.
think that's what it was. I think there was a cover we forgot for Alien Storm, which we legitimately forgot. And
Yeah.
the very first one was Shadowgate. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
We had forgotten that there was also, or we didn't actually know, there was an Amiga cover for it that was totally different. I think it was Amiga.
Right.
It was
Something like
It was
that.
British.
Well, you can listen to the episode and find out.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. So I will post a link on my YouTube channel in the description where you can check out the original video or episode that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this on the podcast listening app of your choice, I will put in the show notes the link to the Nintenjoe channel as well. And you can check out this same episode in video form and see all the covers we were discussing tonight.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Most excellent. So that concludes this episode of the Crow's Nest, aka of Paint and Pixels. I am Nintenjoe or Nintenjoe25, or you can call me whatever the hell you want. I don't really care.
Or you can call me whatever you want, but no one calls me that.
Exactly.
Just don't call him late for sex.
Because that never happens. Except for that one time.
Being called
But
late.
I will not get into that.
All right.
I was asleep.
Exactly, because you were late.
And you Joey, you were half a
You
beat
were
late.
half a beat late. All right, let's get the flap out of here.
Yes, let's get out of here. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please subscribe to our Pinecast channel or whatever, and be safe out
Check
there.
out all those awesome shows on the Epic Airways podcast, please.
Yes, please
There's
do.
fabulous prizes.
Fabulous prizes, guys.
So fabulous.
Who doesn't like fabulous prizes?
I mean, Epic Airways is, I mean, it's like they're not really saying it, but it's Amalgamania. So like they like who knows how to give shit away better than Amalgamania? I mean, nobody.
No one.
No one I know.
Ain't nobody.
Right.
Yes. So, all right. So you guys have a good night. Please be safe and wear a mask.